brisket sliders.
Oh.
So the chef of a very popular barbecue restaurant that you said you love
Oh, yeah.
is in studio to show us his recipe. And oh yeah, look
The
at
Trap House.
that. Look at that. Okay. 9:01, we start the 9 o'clock hour with two interesting new health studies about exercise and eating.
And Dr. Bill Mostow, Emergency Room Director at Banner Del Webb, he's here this morning with some information for us. Good to see you.
You too, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Are you calm? I saw you meditating in there. That's brilliant.
I think I actually achieved inner peace.
That's
Nice.
Finally made it.
So let's say you want to take care of your outer body as well right now. So let's talk about these studies. Exercise or is it diet is better?
So this latest study is pretty interesting. 3 groups of people, 2 who lost weight, 1 group of people who had normal body weight. And then of the 2 groups who lost weight, 1 group put it all back and 1 group kept the weight down.
Okay.
So they compared how much they're eating and how much they're exercising and the metabolic rate and all that stuff. And it turns out the number 1 factor that will help to guarantee that you keep the weight off is your exercise, not so much how much you eat.
So explain that to us.
Yeah, did they say
Yes.
how much exercise or what kind of exercise?
Unfortunately, it's a lot.
It
Because-
is?
Yeah.
That's not the answer we were looking for.
Here's the problem. This sort of verifies the experience of, remember that Greatest Loser show?
Yes.
So it's kind of tragic because a lot of those people who lost all this weight and it was such a wonderful thing and all dramatic, most of them put the weight back on. In fact, many of them are now bigger than they were
After
when they
the show
started.
was over.
So, as it turns out, they aren't bad people. They didn't cheat. They didn't, go off the rails.
Right.
What happened was, when they study them, their metabolic rate, in other words, the amount of calories that they need to consume
That
every
they
day,
burn on a daily basis.
dropped way down.
Okay.
And the hormones that regulate their hunger went way up. So they leave this show needing much less calories per day and hungry all day long. So they naturally gain the weight back. So it turns out, if you are at a point where you need to lose weight and you lose a lot of weight, the body's natural response, and this is back from when we were, hunters and gatherers living in caves, the body's natural response is to go, oh no, I got to adapt because I'm in starvation mode.
Right.
So you start to slow down your metabolism, and that obviously is counterproductive when you want to keep the weight off because your body basically saying, be hungry, eat as much as you can, and let's turn it back into fat to get to where we were. So here's the issue. How do you lose weight to be able to keep it off? So there's a couple ways. We're not completely positive, but we know one thing for sure. If you want to have surgery, the gastric bypass, for some reason that does not slow down your metabolic rate. We're not completely sure why.
Okay.
But that's a big deal, risks and all that stuff to surgery. The other thing that we're thinking is if you maybe stress your body a little bit less when you're losing the weight, in other words, unlike on that TV show, don't lose 120 pounds in 2 months, do it gradually and do it in a way where your body doesn't go into that panic mode, that might be a way to make it so that you're better able to keep it off. But for sure, exercise once you're there is the way to do it. So one method people have been talking about that I think is probably going to end up being a very successful thing is intermittent fasting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
about
kind
this.
of a popular...
Like part of the day or like a day here and
Just
there?
like
or-
the most popular one is 16-8. You fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8. And you don't have to worry about
You
counting.
eat for 8 straight hours?
No. So you don't have to worry about counting calories as much. So that helps with, a lifetime of dieting. That's torture. And also, it makes due to regulation of hormones and your insulin levels and things like that, it makes it so that your body, when you're in the fasting state, burns fat, not just your...
that's interesting.
So give us an idea of the typical schedule. So that you said you fast for 16. So let's say you go to bed at 8. So then you don't eat until 8 plus
Well,
1
when you
noon
get
the
up at,
next
say,
day?
6 in the morning.
Your schedule's so bizarre.
Ours is
It's hard
off.
to-
Tune me up again or something
Let's
like
just
that.
go like a normal person.
Okay.
So let's say...
Yeah, she's
That
fine.
sounds boring.
You caught on to that. So in general, like you skip breakfast.
Yes.
So you eat maybe at 10:30 or 11,
Okay.
and then you can eat for 8 more hours. So maybe to 6:30. Then the kitchen's closed and you're done. So,
That sounds good
you know-
to me. No dishes, no nothing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, try to tell that to the kids. Kitchen's closed. All right, Dr. Mostow, we gotta go. Good
We
advice.
could talk to you about this all
We could.
morning, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming in.